Welcome back. Healthcare technology company Iora Health inked an all-stock deal with One Medical, valued at $2.1 billion. This acquisition allows both companies to extend deeper into the Medicare market. Joining me right now to talk more about healthcare and investing in the sector is the CEO of Rubicon Founders. He is the founder and CEO, Adam Boehler. Adam, it's great to see you again. Thanks very much for being here. Look, I'd love to hear more about your company and where you see opportunity in this space. Tell me first your assessment of what's happening in terms of pharma and biotech and why you found opportunity there.
Yeah, I mean, look, what's unbelievable in the sector is in the last 6 months, you have about $100 billion of market cap that's come into the space. So there is a massive influx of healthcare stocks that are coming in. And it's not our pharma vaccine related. What you're seeing in the market is a shift. It's a seismic shift in healthcare. First, what's happening is something called value-based care. What does that mean? That basically means today in the United States, most of the time, doctors are paid for action. So let's say they do extra lab tests. They're paid for doing more. They're shifting to be paid for keeping people healthy. That's a very big shift. It's actually driven by the government, something I did when I was in government, something the Obama administration did too. It's a continuation and something that I'm sure the Biden administration will continue to push because it keeps people healthy. So that's one. The second thing is tech. These healthcare businesses are much more tech-oriented than they were before. In fact, of the 10 IPOs that just came out in the last 3 months in healthcare, Google is an investor in over half of them, and that's not by mistake. So I think that's super interesting dynamic and why you're seeing massive influx of value come into this sector.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is not new. I mean, the marriage of healthcare and technology has been going on now for a few years, but we continue to see major innovation. My favorite story of the week is what happened at Biogen with the Alzheimer's drug. Because of all of the money coming in, they're able to innovate and come up with incredible opportunities and life-saving, life-saving drugs. Now, you were the first CEO of the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation. You were nominated by President Trump and served until January 2021. Tell us how your work today is different than what you were doing in government in terms of now your ability to put money to work. You say you want to do some acquisitions, right?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Maria. Yeah.
No, go ahead. What kind of acquisitions are you looking at?
We're looking at areas that we think there's a huge amount of change. So genomics is a huge area for us. Women's health is a huge area for us. I mean, let me just give 2 examples. On the genomics side, you have the price of a genome, a full sequence going from $600 today to $100 over the next 2 days, or sorry, the next 2 years. On the women's health side, all of healthcare is oriented around one entire group. It's time to shift and identify very specific issues. So women's health, pediatrics, we think there's a lot of opportunities. So those are 2 areas we spend a lot of time looking at.
Yeah, and I know this is one of the most important stories out there, Adam. I mean, when we, and I mentioned this a lot, when we mapped the genome 25 years ago, we actually saw that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Today, we can map a person's genome for a fraction of that, and we learned so much about the body, enabling us to get ahead of disease with the mapping of the genome in diabetes, in cancer. Now we're up to looking at the mental disease. I want to get your take on what this company looks like longer term as you make all these acquisitions. And by the way, Clover Health Investments is apparently the latest caught up in the Reddit meme stock craze. So you're actually seeing individual investors want in on this incredible opportunity as well to invest in healthcare ideas.
Yeah, well, Clover, I mean, you had to have the first that was a SPAC and a meme. I think that's a first, SPAC and meme, just to keep it interesting. But yes, they SPAC. They're an innovator on the healthcare insurance side, and now have become a meme stock, mainly because people think that there's going to be a short squeeze in the stock. People have been short because CMS has looked at some of the coding in the stock. But I think there's going to be continued opportunities. The other thing I talk about, Maria, is Amazon Care and what they're doing in the area. They just announced yesterday all they want to do to drive healthcare. So you're going to see a lot of influx in here.
It's a great point to bring up Amazon. Adam, it's good to see you. We'll be watching your next acquisition. Adam Boehler joining us there. Stay with us. We'll be right back.